Hamas chief Haniyeh has been killed, and this confirmation has come in from Hamas group itself. Ismail Haniyeh and one of his bodyguards were killed in Iran at his home in Tehran. Haniyeh was in Tehran to be attending Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian's swearing-in ceremony on Tuesday. He had vowed, in fact, Israel has been looking out and hunting down they're attempting to kill him at least for the last few months since the October 7 attacks. And finally, it appears to have happened. Israel had vowed to finish off Haniyeh after the October 7th attacks on Israel that killed 1,200 people, and since the war began, where we saw nearly 250 hostages were taken in from Israel, Israel was on a warpath. Haniyeh left the Gaza Strip in 2019. He had lived in exile in Qatar. Hamas has said in a statement that Haniyeh was killed in an Israeli attack on his location in Tehran after attending the ceremony of the new Iranian president. The IDF has also carried out a targeted strike against Hezbollah's most senior military commander and head of its strategic unit, Fouad Shukr, who's also known as Saeed Musan in Beirut. Fouad, who served as the right-hand man to Hezbollah's Secretary General and was his advisor for wartime operations, we believe he's also been pinned down. India was represented by Union Minister Nitin Gadkari at Iran's new president inaugural just yesterday. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh was also very much present at that ceremony. He's today killed in Tehran. Let me quickly cut across to former Israeli government spokesperson Elon Levy joining us live for more on that. Elon, could you give us a confirmation on Haniyeh being killed in Tehran? We hear Hamas's statement itself confirms that, but why don't you elaborate for us the motive that Israel had and the success of this mission?
There has been no official statement from Israel, but if Israel indeed killed Ismail Haniyeh, that would make sense. Ismail Haniyeh was one of the world's most dangerous terrorists. He was one of the masterminds behind the October 7th massacre. He called the brutal killing of 1,200 Israelis in a single day a victory, called on other terrorist groups around the world to join in the killing, and has spent every day since October 7th trying to drag more terrorist armies into their war against Israel. Israel was clear after the October 7th massacre: every Hamas terrorist is a dead man walking, and we will reach all of their leaders. And just look at the top leadership of Hamas assassinated over the last few months. Salah al-Aruri killed in Beirut. Marwan Issa, Mohammed Def, the head of Hamas's army of terror in Gaza. All have been killed, and now it would appear Ismail Haniyeh has been added to that list as well of arch-terrorists who plotted and celebrated the October 7th massacre and are no longer with us.
Well, we see there were strikes, targeted strikes, even in the Lebanon capital, Beirut, and we saw protests happening in the whole of the last 24 hours. There seems to be a lot of activity. On one side, you have Haniyeh, on the other, we hear Hezbollah chief's right-hand man has been gunned down. Would you want to confirm on what's happening in Lebanon?
This sends a very clear message to Israel's enemies: we will get you wherever you are. Israel performed that airstrike in Beirut after the killing of 12 children playing soccer by Hezbollah, because this war is not a war between Israel and a Palestinian terrorist group in Gaza. Since October 7th, Israel has been under attack by the Iranian regime and its proxy armies on 7 fronts. Hamas in Gaza, terrorists in the West Bank, Hezbollah in Lebanon joined the war on October 8th. It's fired 6,500 rockets at Israel. The Houthi pirates in Yemen have been sending rockets at Israel. Iranian-backed groups in Syria, in Iraq, and just a few months ago, Iran launched 350 ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and suicide drones at Israel in a single night. This isn't a war between Israel and a small Palestinian terror group. It is a war in which Iran has sent its other terrorist armies to try to murder as many Israelis as possible, and Israel is sending a clear message here that their leaders are not safe, and anyone who kills Israeli citizens, we will come after them and we will get them.
Right. Well, we're looking at unprecedented strikes on Gaza since October 7th. It hasn't yet stopped. Has there been any resolve on the part of Israel at this point to slow it down, or will this continue? When will this stop?
Israel has been clear there will be no permanent end to the fighting that leaves Hamas in power or the hostages in Gaza, because that would mean that there will be a next time, and it will be worse if Hamas is left to fight another day. Since October 7th, Hamas has been saying it wants to do October 7th again and again until it kills everyone in Israel and destroys our country. Now, what Israel does want is a deal to get the hostages out. There are 125 hostages still trapped in the Hamas terror dungeons. They have been there for 300 days. We know that Hamas is starving them and torturing them and raping them and executing them. And Israel is trying to put all pressure on the Hamas terror regime and its leaders, wherever they are, if they're in Gaza or if they're hiding in Beirut or Tehran, to tell them, give us back the hostages now. No one gets to abduct Israeli citizens and get away with it. We're going in to get them out.
You know, we heard Hezbollah had carried out targeted strikes in Israel just a week ago. About 12 youngsters, including children, have been killed. And now with the targeted strikes on the Hezbollah chief in Lebanon's Beirut, also after Hamas's chief has been declared dead, what kind of alert are you giving to the citizens of your own country?
The home front commands in Israel have not changed, but people are being urged to exercise caution because, of course, we are in a war that Hamas started on October 7th, a war that Hezbollah joined on October 8th, a war in which we have been attacked by the Iranian regime and its proxy armies on 7 fronts. And Israelis know that if there are rockets from Hezbollah in the north or Hamas in the south, we have a matter of seconds to run for safety. And Israelis are well drilled on what to do in those emergencies. But you raise a very important point. Hezbollah joined this war on October 8th, while Hamas death squads were still in the kibbutzim, still burning Israeli families alive. Hezbollah joined this war. Since then, Iran's proxy army in Lebanon has fired 6,500 rockets and drones at Israeli towns and communities. Just a few days ago, they killed 12 children playing soccer, and tens of thousands of Israelis have been displaced from their homes. They are refugees in their own country, and they cannot go back to their homes because Iran's proxy army in Lebanon, Hezbollah, has been shelling their homes. And so Israel has spent months warning Hezbollah, back off, or we will have to push you away, because we need to get our people safely back to their homes. And with the killing of Fuad Shukr in Beirut yesterday and the reported targeted killing of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, Israel is sending a message to the arch-terrorists behind the October 7th massacre, waging Iran's 7-front war against Israel, that nowhere will be safe for you. And you should stop attacking Israel citizens and surrender.
Right. Elon Levy, thank you very much. Appreciate your time for joining us on that. Well, we know Hamas's chief has been confirmed dead. Hamas itself has issued a statement grieving the death of their chief. It now appears for Israel administration to declare it. We're awaiting that.